Alright, thank you for joining. My name is Shane, and today I'm going to be starting a hand drill tutorial for beginners. If you aren't familiar with a hand drill, it is a primitive fire making device consisting of a spindle and a fireboard. This is one of my personal hand drill sets. It is a seep willow spindle and a cottonwood root fireboard. These materials and set were gathered and used in Arizona primarily. I use this set for a couple dozen fires as of now, and it still has room for, I don't know, at least another dozen or 2 dozen. What is a hand drill? Well, I built a display board to help me teach this. Hand drill, like I said, consists of 2 parts, a spindle and a fireboard. The spindle can be anywhere from 12 to 36 inches long, with the ideal spindle length being around 18 to 24 inches. Thickness-wise, spindles should be about as thick as the pinky, or around 1/4 of an inch, though that can vary based on the material. If you're using a spindle material that has really thin walls versus really thick woody walls, you might want to use a slightly thicker spindle. And if you're using a very woody spindle, you can get away with something a little bit thinner. As for fireboards, most of them are going to be either a softwood or a dense flower stalk, like a yucca or a sotol. Fireboards, I like to be about 1 to 2 fingers wide, sometimes up to 3. The wider the fireboard is, the more holes you can get on it. You can make 2 rows of holes, 1 up each edge. Lengthwise, I like my fireboards to be about the length of my forearm if I can. That way I can get the most fires out of it. However, if you're doing this primitively with stone tools, you're probably not going to have a very long fireboard, or at least not that long, because that's just a lot more work to process. Going over materials real quick. In my opinion, ideal fireboards can be made of yucca, cottonwood root, and sotol. There are plenty of other fireboard materials that'll work. Cottonwood branch is also fantastic. I don't have an example on the board here, but it is good. And that's what we'll be using most likely for the hand drill that we make later on in this series. Hand drill spindle materials. I am personally very fond of horseweed. It is my personal favorite spindle material. However, I also have examples of seep willow here. Seep willow grows in the desert Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Southern California primarily, and then into Mexico. It is fantastic. It's a good woody stalk with a little bit of pith in the center, and it works very well. But horseweed can be found pretty much everywhere in the US and parts of Canada. It's also called Canadian fleabane for that same reason. We're going to be gathering materials to make a hand drill set for this video. We're going to go over the anatomy of fire and how to build 2 different types of fire lays. And then we will use our hand drill to successfully make a fire. So stick with me and we're going to have a good time.